Hey guys, in this video I'll be sharing the PvP build for Blood Knight, which is my current favorite of this particular season. I had a very smooth ride from Gold 5 to Legend with this particular build, and I believe going from Gold 5 to Legend is the most difficult one, but with this build I was able to do it very easily. I made a full montage video with this particular build a few days ago, but I did not share the build. I thought since the new essences are not involved, maybe people are aware of this, but I assumed wrong. I don't know why I assumed that. But yeah, I got a lot of comments in that particular video to make a full build guide for that particular build, because I believe a lot of people found that build very interesting. So here we are in this video, I'm going to share that build. So without any further ado, let's get into the build. So in this build, the skills we are using are Sanguinate, Whirling Strike, Shout of Night and Swarm of Bat. Instead of Whirling Strike, a lot of people use Transfusion, but I personally prefer Whirling Strike. At the end of the video, I'll also share the Transfusion version, but I personally prefer Whirling Strike because this suits me much better, because it is a dash and it has more mobility. It is more active way of playing in Battlegrounds. So I prefer Whirling Strike rather than Transfusion, but you can also use Transfusion instead of Whirling Strike. So first we cover the Whirling Strike version. Now moving on to the essences. First we cover the Shout of Night, as this is the main essence or main skill of this particular build, and the essence we are using is Macabre Facade, I don't know, and also the helmet, which increases the duration of Shroud of Night. Along with this Shroud of Night, we are also using Swarm of Bats. The essences are the helmet, Torture and Torment, and the pants is basically the Swarm of Bat now poisons the enemy. So what happens is that whenever you use Shroud of Night and Bats together, the bats are also going to buff your Shroud of Night. So whenever you are using primary attack, these bats are attacking the enemy. So even when the shrouds are going to attack the enemy, they are also going to use the bats, these particular bat essence. Now coming to the main hand and offhand. Main hand and offhand both have two essences of Ravage, and for the offhand we are using both the essences of Ravage. Basically it says Ravage deals more damage to bleeding enemies, and the other essence is when you are attacked, Ravage attack speed is increased by 35%. These are the two offhand essence. For Ravage you are going to use that, and for the main hand we are using one Ravage essence, that is the bleed one. Whenever Ravage causes the enemies to bleed, this is very important. And finally for the other main hand we are using Whirling Strike, which makes the Whirling Strike as a dash, and the third dash is basically knocks people up in the air. So these are the essences. Now moving on to the set items, we are using 4 pieces of Angment set and 4 pieces of Grace set. Basically we are going out full on damage, no shields, nothing like that. We are just going to do so much damage with this build, and enemies are going to melt so fast. That is the main idea about this build, right? For legendary gems, there are certain gems which complement this build very nicely, and those are the Viper's Bite and Pain Clasp. Pain Clasp because this build is basically focused on harmful effects. So Pain Clasp is very beneficial in this particular build, and obviously Viper's Bite. Along with this, Mother's Lament is always good to have, and then you can also have Roiling Consequence because this also gives you burn effect. And if you have Sleeping Bile, then also that is going to complement very well with this particular build. And for the gems, you can also use Spiteful Blood because you will be in melee range a lot of the time. So this Spiteful Blood is also going to be very helpful in this particular build. So guys, this is a full on harmful effects build of the Blood Knight, because with this build you have bleed from your Ravage, you have poison from your bats, the bats pants essence, bleed, poison, and then you have your set item, basically your Angment set, the 4-piece set. This is going to proc a lot. I know a lot of you might be thinking that the 15% is pretty low, but in this particular build, this procs so many times that you won't be able to believe. So I've gotten so many kills with this particular Angment set. So yeah, these are the 3 harmful effects which you get from this particular build in this particular build. And if you have Roiling Consequence and gems like Viper's Bite, then you have even more ways to apply harmful effect. The more harmful effect you can apply in this build, the more it's going to be more damage, the better it will be. And hence we are also using the Grace set, because so many harmful effect is going to proc the 4 pieces of Grace set effect way more often, because every 5 times you get a big burst damage from the grace set, and these 5 ticks are going to happen so often with this particular harmful effects build, that this is the perfect set for this particular build. Now, as for the rotation is concerned, basically I move in with my Sanguinate or Whirling Strike. Anyone depending on the situation. Either I can go with Whirling Strike, then I go with Shout of Night, then I come back or I move around using Sanguinate and basically be basically be in the iframes mode, right? But whenever you use Shout of Night, always use the bats together, because these Shout of Night are going to attack the enemy, and without the bats this is going to decrease the damage by a lot. So Shout of Night along with basically the bats is must, and then you move out with your Sanguinate. Go in, drop your shrouds, and then come out. So that's why I use Whirling Strike and Sanguinate, because these are going to help me in moving in and out of a battle situation. Now in the other variant, what people do is they do not use Whirling Strike, and instead of Whirling Strike, if you see in the main hand, there is another Ravage Essence, and that is the final strike of Ravage combo used a big burst of energy, right? So this is also very good, because this is going to transfer over to your Shroud, and your Shroud is going to trigger this one, right? So this is also you can do is you can use this particular thing, and then instead of this Whirling Strike, you can go with Transfusion. So this is the alternate variant of this particular build, but in this build I've seen people use V2s and everything, but I'll tell you frankly what I like. I prefer full on damage with this particular build. Usually I'm a big advocate of going defense and everything, but in this particular build I'm definitely going full on damage, and I definitely prefer these 4 pieces of Angment and 4 pieces of Grace. People use 2 pieces of V2s because or 4 pieces of V2s because of this Transfusion, but I'm not sure. I have not played with that. I'm not sure how good that variant is going to be. So yeah, in conclusion, this is the build that I prefer. You can take a screenshot or maybe you can just note it down. These are the essences, these are the set items, these are the basically the gems. Now for the gameplay, I have a full kills montage video of this particular build where I showcase kills after kills after kills, where I get MVPs, I get very highest assist and all the types of shenanigans that comes along with this particular build. So I'll link that particular video in top right or even in the comments below. You can check that out, and I'm pretty sure you are going to love this particular build and you're going to have a great time with this particular build. For the Paragon tree, I prefer using Gladiator because of the uncontrollable. This is pretty good. It gives you immunity from one loss of control, hence I usually go with Gladiator, but if you want to use Brawler or something, you can definitely go for that as well. So thank you for watching. If you have any doubts or comments, let me know down in the comments below. If you are new in the channel, make sure to subscribe and give it a like if you like the contents of the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.